You have been sitting with the same decisions over and over again, unable to move forward. Maybe you consider it a small decision, or maybe it's not small at all. But it never matters, because your mind treats every choice the same way, searching for a version of that choice where nothing can go wrong. And somewhere in all of your searching, something happens. The choice stops being the hard part. Living inside your own head becomes the hard part. It's not that you don't know what you want. Most of the time you do. Some small, steady voice inside you already knows. But another voice, louder, keeps asking, "Are you sure? What if you're wrong? What if you choose and it costs you?" So you wait. You gather more information. You think about the choice over and over in your head, looking for a version of certainty that never actually arrives. Here's what you need to know, traveler. Underneath all of your thinking is something much older. A fear that if you choose wrong, it won't just be a mistake. It will mean something about you. No one is born afraid of their own choices. Somewhere, a wrong turn led somewhere painful. It cost you more than it should have, and hurt more than it should have. Perhaps it led to being doubted by yourself and by others, or a chance that you weren't given again. A failure you couldn't undo, or your trust and confidence never fully returning. And since then, some small part of you decided, "I will never let that happen again." That mistakes weren't just mistakes, they were evidence. Evidence that maybe you weren't as capable as you thought you were. They were the moment you stopped trusting your own judgment and started needing certainty. So you became careful. You learned to see every angle before anyone else even noticed there was an angle to see. This is not a flaw, traveler. There is nothing wrong with you. You became like this because at some point, being wrong felt like it might cost you everything. But that same devotion to being careful has a weight to it now. Every choice delayed turns into a choice made without you, by time, by someone else, by the moment simply passing you by. And in all of that waiting, something else quietly happened too. You stopped trusting your first instinct, the quiet knowing before the doubt comes in. Each time fear spoke louder and you listened to the fear instead, that quiet knowing grew even quieter. But that first voice was rarely wrong. It was just quieter than the fear you have been following. This is what I want you to hear, traveler. You were not born doubting yourself. You were not born believing a wrong choice would cost you your worth. Somewhere you learned that. It was never proof of who you are. You are allowed to choose and be wrong and still be worthy of every single thing you were worthy of before you chose at all. You are allowed to move before you are certain. You are allowed to trust the voice that knew before all of the others got so loud. If this found you sitting with a decision you have turned over 100 times, or knowing in your heart what you want but being afraid to move, it is not because something is wrong with you. You forgot you were allowed to move. Remember who you are.